Downright Sports is back and it's all new. The NBA preview show is today. We pick who's going to win. We talk about the star factors, and we talk about the Drake. This hat is fresh. Downright Sports, let's go. Welcome everyone to an all-new Downright Sports. I'm your host, Brent Reid, and we are back. It is the NBA preview show, which we'll touch on in the topic. But if this is the first time you've ever seen this show, it is a sports show from a fan's perspective under the umbrella of the Downright Enterprise. If you've never seen it, we basically start the show off with the first pitch, and I think it's time for us to take the first pitch. And in kicking it off, this week has been a sad week for both baseball and football, starting with the passing away of a football legend, Brent Reid, former quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, also and head coach of the Green Bay Packers, passed away this week. He is a guy who was the man. He was the Tom Brady of his day, winning 3 consecutive NFL championships and winning the first 2 NFL Super Bowls. That's back when the NFL and the AFL merged to make one league. And he was, without a question, for a period of time, the face of the NFL. Moving on to baseball, where baseball also lost a legend in his own right, Bill Buckner, most famous for the Game 6 ball under the legs, but the guy played 22 seasons and had a pretty decent average. He would hit get over 2,700 career hits. He batted .289 for his career, and he was just a stellar player. Unfortunately, the Game 6 play was the play that will forever stamp his name to pull in a Buckner. It wasn't until the Red Sox would win the World Series in 2004 where all was forgiven and erased. And finally, today, if you're interested, the Stanley Cup Playoffs Game 2 will happen as Boston Bruins look to take a 2-0 lead over the St. Louis Blues. The Bruins look to add to their Stanley Cup, looking to win their 8th out of the 7 they've won. Their most recent they won was in 2011. Well, when we come back in segment number 2, we're going to talk about the NBA Finals as we preview the game, the series that gets ready to start tomorrow. All right, welcome everybody to the topic. In today's topic, we preview the NBA Finals. The NBA playoffs is what's going on now. So, the NBA playoffs started last December, and no, I'm joking. It started in April, but it's finally wrapping up as we get ready for the first game of Game 1, which will be tomorrow night of May 30th. So today is May 29th, for those that didn't know. The 2 teams playing in the finals will be the Golden State Warriors, who are in their 5th straight finals, looking to win their 4th championships. And the Toronto Raptors are in their 1st finals, looking to win their 1st ever championship. Thus, if they're in their 1st, it only makes sense. The Raptors have the better record. They are the best team, meaning Golden State will be playing on the road. Where does this matter? The teams that they beat and to get to this point matters a little bit. The Raptors took care of the 76ers and the Milwaukee Bucks team. Some would say were better from a overall talent perspective because they had more talented guys, where the Golden State Warriors, the only team that was supposed to be a threat to them was the Houston Rockets, and they beat them 4-2. And then without Kevin Durant, they swept the Portland Trailblazers, just swept them. So the question now is, what will they do against what will Golden State, this team with star after star after star, Draymond Green, Steph Curry, Andre Iguodala, Klay Thompson. These guys have done it before without Kevin Durant, and the question is, can they do it now? But they did it before against a LeBron James. Now they have to do it against a different style of player, a Kawhi Leonard. A guy not afraid to take a shot. A guy not afraid to take the last shot. A guy who will distribute, but is more of a Kobe Jordan-like meaning he's more cerebral, he's more of an assassin, he wants to take your heart, versus LeBron, who's going to look to try to get everybody involved, then try to take over. Toronto doesn't, out of Kawhi Leonard, you got Kyle Lowry, and that's it. Really, it's a group of guys that he's bringing together. I'm just going to go on a limb. I thought for a second Toronto may have a chance, because the last time Golden State in the playoffs had somebody hit them in the mouth and just looked like they were going to take advantage of them was Kawhi Leonard when he was on the Spurs. And he went out with an injury that pretty much changed the whole course of the NBA. Him getting hurt on San Antonio, sitting out a whole year, forcing him to want to be traded, to leave the team, changed everything. So is he really the Golden State killer? Now, Toronto has beat Golden State twice this year. Regular season games don't matter, especially when it's East versus West, because they don't hold any weight. But you're talking a Golden State team that's got two guys easily. Count DeMarcus Cousins out, and even if DeMarcus Cousins could play, I wouldn't play him, because you got he would be more of a risk than a reward. He rarely plays defense. He's looking to take three-pointers all the time, even though if he wanted to, he could just be a straight dom, just give him the rock and go to work, but he doesn't want to do that. And then he's going to have to guard a Marc Gasol, who's going to want to play, and who's in his first championship game ever. And this is a guy who played years in Memphis, had a good team, but now he's finally there. But back to Golden State. You're talking about a Golden State team that's got Clay and Curry that are now playing their style of basketball now that Kevin Durant won't be playing. He's not going to probably play this whole... The only way you're going to see Kevin Durant play is if Golden State goes down 2-0. But these guys are going to kill them in the pick and roll. But now we back it up. Do you put Leonard on Steph? Because he's long enough and lanky enough, and them hands is the size of my iPad, where he could just do what he wants out there on the court defensively. And I'm looking more towards a situation where he may be the guy, if you let him guard Steph from pillar to post, we find ourselves in a situation where now Golden State has a matchup problem. But with that being said, you got Draymond Green, who is the factor, really the point guard of the team. So what if he decides? There's so many ifs, ands, and buts about this series. With that being said, I have to give the series to Golden State because they have more firepower. You got Clay, you got Draymond, you got Curry. Off the bench, you got Iggy, you got this dude Jordy Bell, who's a beast. You still got Sean Livingston, the great veteran. These guys they're nobodies, but they're able to do the job that needs to be done. Where if I'm looking at the Raptors, Serge Ibaka, great defensive player, but he's going to be an offensive risk. Danny Green, hit or miss. I watch him on the Spurs a lot. Norman Powell can do some work, but is he somebody you're going to compare him to? And then you got Marc Gasol, who in today's NBA is not what you need him to be, because he's going to be, instead of having him in the post, he's going to be more on the outside. So the biggest takeaway, so I give it to Golden State. Now the problem is we have to deal with Drake for the next 2 weeks. That's right, kids, because Drake is the human mascot of the Toronto Raptors. And he's Spike Lee, Jack Nicholson, that weird dude that wears the hat and the clothes at all the NBA games rolled into one. That's what he is. He is that guy. And for the next 2 weeks, I do not feel like seeing... I'm pretty sure Drake's going to probably perform at one of the games. He's going to wave the flag or shoot fire out of his mouth. Enough with the Drake. All right, enough with the Drake. And we move on past the Drake. Anyway, when we return, we'll bring back an old segment we haven't touched on in a long, long time. Movies and video games. Oh, by the way, I did say Golden State was going to win. They're going to win in 5. I'm calling it out. Golden State wins in 5 games. Stamp it. All right, when we come back, movies and video games. Downward Sports. Hey. So, movies and video games, a segment I haven't touched on in a long time. But this past week, we went to the movies to see Aladdin. Very good. Surprised me, actually. Aladdin may be one of my favorite Disney movies next to the Great Mouse Detective. I'm a big fan of the Great Mouse Detective. But to see Aladdin come to life, The dance sequences was, oh my God, it was killer. And the way they kind of fused the old style with a little hip hop was awesome, man. Like, you gotta tip your cap to that because that was stunning. Will Smith playing the genie did not try to outdo Robin Williams. He really didn't. He put his own spin on the genie and made it as Will Smith can do. I think people are not giving the movie enough of a chance because they make it too much of a deal out of Will being blue, but don't forget the genie was blue. But the music's good. They put some new songs in there. A lot of deep messages. If you watch the movie, there's a lot of messages that they were trying to get across to make it work, and they changed the story up a little bit. But yeah, such a good movie, really good. And if you haven't seen it, go see it. I really think it was awesome. But in any case, hey guys, thanks for watching. It's good to be back. New show next week. Probably don't know what I'm talking about yet. Maybe NBA still. But time to get some plugs in. Go to YouTube and check out and subscribe down at the bottom for OK Coasters. Brad Davis' best documentarian that the world needs to know. This guy, man, is telling you what roller coasters to ride, what amusement parks to go to. It's family friendly. It's the best thing on YouTube and Instagram right now. Also, what I do with it? I left over there. I'm so sorry, Nathan. The official pen of Downright Enterprises. Go to Two Shebas on the Hill on Instagram. These pens are custom. They're not fake. They're custom made. They are legit handcrafted pens that are legit. You can go to Walmart, you can go to Target, you can go anywhere in the world, but you're not going to get a pen as official and as dope as the Two Shebas on the Hill, created by the great Black pensman himself, Nathan Harris. And then finally hit my man DJ Chase up, the executive producer of the podcast, I'm Just Talking. Good segue. But you also need to go to Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or SoundCloud to subscribe, and also subscribe here at the bottom. Just hit the button at the bottom, hit the button at the bottom, and subscribe, and give us a thumbs up if you like it, and leave a comment in the bottom. And yeah, enjoy, and we'll see you guys next week. Deuces.